Okay, here we go. Let's put on some music. Let's see. There we go. I might do something a little bit more chill later, but I like a little bit peppy in the morning. Jeez. Okay, so we need to change you. Good. Okay, great. Let me get out of the way. Fantastic. We go in between these. Nice, okay. So what the hell are we doing today? Well, I'm not too sure myself. Mostly I want to fix a bunch of bugs, and was like, I'll do this on stream. And I didn't end up doing it on stream last night, so we'll do it today. One thing is, right, our grabber isn't working, so let's just take a look, right? We got new menus, new tabs, right? We've got enemies spawning now, we've got NPCs spawning, we've got triggers that don't spawn, so we need to fix that. Here's an example of a trigger right here. The door is just an area, so if I remove the tiles, right, it still works as a door. We can actually test this out. Since it doesn't matter what the door looks like, it just works as a door. Looks like it didn't save. That's actually, well, it's all good. But I'm happy with, we can just turn this on and off whenever we want now. It doesn't crash or mess anything up because it has special entering and exiting functions that just reset everything to like it should be. So we won't have any more crashes with that, hopefully. Let's see. What else do we got? That's stupid. Whenever I click out of the screen and back into the screen, he don't know why he falls. It must have to do something with collision detection. I have no idea. Hey, welcome. Welcome for the early morning stream, or maybe late, depending on wherever you are. Let's see. Let's turn this down a little bit. I just want to make sure all the audio levels are good. We're going to be doing some bug fixing today with our level editor. One of the things I want to fix is this boy right here, right? So we can spawn NPCs, we can move them around, we can spawn props if we wanted to and move them around. And we can also, since these are the same tool, take a look at entity. All of these inherit from entity, so we can just grab them around without having to switch tools. The only problem is this boy right here, our spawn point. Our spawn point just determines where we start the level at, so if I were to reload the level, that's where we go. This is only really relevant when we're loading into the level like debug. Otherwise we would always come in from like a door or an entrance or something. This just makes it easier to test it. But this boy uses like an old tool. He uses a grabber tool, which we aren't really supporting anymore. So we need to figure out better ways to grab him. And I think the best way is just going to be to make him an entity and make him grabbable like the rest of the enemies here. This is... I don't even know what's going on anymore with this. There we go. I want to be able to switch between them like we can usually switch between NPCs. This is also interesting. I don't know why she's got gravity on her, because if she's disabled then we should be stopping gravity, just like Aika here. If their script is disabled then they shouldn't be having gravity. So I'll have to check to see what's wrong with Fuka over here. And is there anything else? I want to switch triggers today because we have the capability to spawn them, but we're not, because there's a lot of different things we would want to do when spawning triggers. Right now, I'm not really sure what to do about that, so we'll take a look. Let's see. Let's open up our signal in the script editor. So the signal will be coming from the spawn point, and it's emitting the signal selected. It's emitting it that it's a background. I'm not sure what that's about. Selected, and then it's passing. Is that just emit signal selected self? That's one point. This is wrong. This must be because we copy pasted code, but doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. We'll just change this to spawn point. Oh, I got the clicky keyboard. I'm so unprepared for this stream. You'll just have to deal with loud as fuck typing. So we're passing that, and we're passing the type, which is good. Where the hell are we passing this? I don't know who's intercepting this signal, so let's take a look at our editor hierarchy here. Okay, so our spawn point isn't in the editor hierarchy. So if anything connects to it, it's going to have to connect to it via via code. So let's see if any of these boys do it. Level selected. I think I remember seeing it in Inspector. Match active type. So, okay. This is receiving something. Let's check what it's receiving in the editor. Is it not receiving anything? It's getting past that from the editor itself. And the editor itself, what is that doing? It's unselected. Okay, so this will be receiving the signal. Entity selected, level selected. Nothing like that. It would be in its setup function, right? Or actually in ready, here we go. Level selected. No, here it is. So it's just saying for all spawn points, connect the signal selected to our cell, to the inspector on selected. So this is doing the dirty work for us. It's kind of ugly, but there's not really. I just need to consolidate all this stuff. Anyways, now that we know what's happening, a button is being pressed on the spawn point. This boy is moving to the editor, who is getting it, connecting the signal, routing it directly to the inspector here, who is interpreting it. So all of the magic happens here. This track's actually pretty good. DMO is hit or miss. This is DMO at OST, by the way. I don't know if I'm 100% behind it yet or not, but maybe I want to play the game some point. It seems a little like, of all fucking J-Rhythm games, it seems like the whitest girl one. It's funny. It's funny. So okay, we got our spawn point, which is saying when you're picked up, switch the tool to entity and switch it to grab, which is what I just switched it to. But let's take a look at how normal grabs work, right? Because normal grabs don't go through that process at all. If we see do entity input, and this is what usually should happen, right? So if action is pressed left mouse button, it will place down something. But if we get right mouse button, it will switch the tool to grab. And when we release it, it sets it to just the pre-grab subtool. Okay, this is where it's probably messing up because there is no pre-grab subtool. So when we let go, it can't do that. I don't want to set a spawn point tool because we don't spawn the spawn point, we only just move it. So maybe we can create like a catch-all category for entities that we can't spawn but that we can grab, like spawn point over here. So that's why this boy is so janky. We can't let go of him because there's nothing to let go to, or there's nothing to go back to when we let go. Okay. Let's see. What should this subtool be named if it's like non-placeable? Non-placeable. NA. Just be as descriptive as possible. That'll get us to the place we want to be. So let's see. No place. And this will just pass when we are trying to place something. Okay. Then I can do the rest of this just fine. Moving, deleting. We might have to create an exception for that, but because I don't want to let you delete the spawn point, that ruins the whole point of it. But we'll test it first, right? Let's see. Anything else we need here? I want to get to it in a better way, right? Because it's if we click on it with left click, then we can click on it with right click. Oh, it's a whole mess. So let's do something else instead, right? Inspector is setting it to be active, right? Or is it not? If selected, if active, then deselect it and set active to the selection. Okay, so we are setting it to active. This boy just needs to be set to our no place tool. And what else do we need? I want to have it be clickable on right click. So let's change this, right? Oh, it is mouse right already. Okay. Make that a little bigger for you. There's our boy, right? Let's get out of the way. We switch to no place tool, but we can't grab it. Why would that be? It is active, is it not? It's got the name of it right here. So we should be able to move it just like we can move our other NPCs once it's active. So why wouldn't it let us do that? Let's check the code one more time. We don't really need you, world. Do entity input. Everything will be happening here. We have an active. We have an entity. We have the mouse position, the grid position. When we're clicking left mouse button, nothing happens, just like we want. When we're doing right mouse button, and inspector.active, which should be true, and it should very much be true. If it's not, then my whole code is doing something weird. Our pre-grab subtool is going to be set to subtool, which is fine because our subtool is no place. And when we set the tool, set entity grab, grab offset, that's all good. If event is action released, set tool entity pre-grab subtool. Well, here's the thing, it's not even grabbing it in the first place, so let's see if this is even running. That will tell us. That little break there. That'll tell us if it's at least trying to run. If he's at least trying to do something. He is. What is he trying to do? Let's open this up real big. What do we got here? We don't care about any of that. But what about... Can we go into remote? We'll go into secondary inspector. Active type spawn point. Active is our spawn point. So that's weird. Active is being set properly. Is there anything else we need to do? Is it perhaps that if we right click the button to grab it, it will just set it as active again? Let's change the spawn point to be activated on the left click, and then we can be sure. If it works fine, then it's a problem with that. So left click to select and right click to grab. Oh, oops. That breakpoint was still there. Oh, by the way, are we in... Oh, let me change our category. Sorry, on Twitch. Forgot to do this. I think we're just in art right now. Let's see. go. Software and game development. Tags. 3D printing. Stream title English. Yay. Ash, is that you? I wonder if I can like call you the fuck out. Anyways, no, I don't care that much. What do we got going on here? We've got this boy who is not moving. We can grab everything else. We can grab everything else, but this boy will not move, which is very annoying. Technically, he has no subtool, so like that would be one reason why he's not moving. This is our spawn point, by the way. It's just where we spawn when we load into the map through like debug commands and shit. Very useful, not useful actually in game, since we'll always be entering through like a door or an entrance somewhere. This is just more of our failsafe and debug testing. So let's go back to our code. We've got if event is action pressed, right mouse button, and inspector is active. We not only did we prove both these are true, but we proved that it's running by placing this break here. So this is happening. The pre-grab subtool is being set, which is just what we need to go back to after we're done grabbing. The set tool is being set. Grab offset equals inspector. This is just the offset of the grab, which we don't really care about. But he's not being grabbed. He's not being grabbed despite all of this. So what's actually, let me think. He probably is being grabbed, but he isn't being moved per se. So let's go and read this code, right? And this makes a lot of sense, right? If event is action, yeah, hide preview. If our tool is grab, like it should be, take the active global position and add it to grid position plus the offset. So the grid position in this case is just the grid position corresponding with our mouse. And the grab offset is how we grab the thing, like if we didn't grab it in the exact center, just to keep that consistent. So what I suspect is that either A, this boy isn't triggering, or this boy isn't getting what he needs to. So let's do a test on that. We selected him, and we try and move him, but nothing happens. We got that breakpoint to trigger after a lot of right-clicking. That's interesting. So active globe position. Here's the thing. Unlike, or is it unlike? Let's check our other actors first, right? We've got enemy. We've got Billy over here. Billy is an enemy, which is a class that inherits from a kinematic body, which in turn, let's open documentation, right? Kinematic body, if we go down the chain of command, right? Physics body, it inherits from node 2D, which means basically that it takes place in world space. We can set its position, and its position will be relative to the world. So if we move the entire world, all the enemies would move along with it. Just like if we were moving the canvas or something. And our boy here, let's go back to him. Editor. Our spawn point boy over here, he inherits from sprite. Let's open documentation, which also inherits from node 2D. So he should be acting in the exact same way as the rest of them are. When we're changing the global position, we're changing it in the same way we do enemies. So this one's a toughie. We might have to come back to this one. I went from start to end, and I did everything that happens to this boy, and we're still not sure why he ain't moving. Oh, is it because our subtool never gets it never gets changed to grab? We're never even grabbing this boy. But that's weird because the code just triggered, right? It totally did. And there, with enough tries, it does trigger. Is it? Is it that he's not input pickable? Hold on. I don't know why the hell that would allow me to do anything to him if he wasn't. Let's see. I think this is a property of mouse input is it? No, it's not a property of sprites and stuff. It should always be pickable. Is that what we're going with? Because with kinematic bodies, we have to turn it on and off depending on what we want. We're not changing it to grab. Unless we grab off of him. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So here's an example, right? Let's reset this scene and hope it doesn't crash. Okay, so yeah. Basically, here's a little bit of an oversight that I left in, right? If we select an NPC, right? This guy, if we keep them active and we click on nothing, we can still move them offset to the position of wherever we click our mouse, which is something I left in because like it's not hurting anybody. But here, that is the only way we can move this spawn point. And what I suspect is that the button that lets us click it is getting in the way of the entity. That's the only thing I can suspect. So chaotic stream. If he's in the way, and if whenever we click him, he's getting set to no place, how do other people get away with it, right? Let's see. Billy, when Billy gets clicked, right? Let's go way back to enemy. Enemy.gd. He's got a function here. Oh, it's on actor. That's right. Whenever any actor is clicked, we do this input event. That basically takes the input that they have preloaded into them we didn't have to add a button or anything for him, because that's just what happens with selecting shit. Selecting node 2Ds specifically. So let's get rid of this button, right? Let's turn you off for a second and just do it that way. Let's see. And we'll copy the other code that we needed. Actor. So editor equals world get node. This is to connect it. And this would be a lot cleaner as opposed to running it through world like we're doing now. Now the spawn point will just connect himself like he should. So let's add world to you, add a reference to world, go back to spawn point, dump you, I don't know, up here. Okay, so this will be great. It also identifies itself through the editor, which is a weird fucking thing to do. Can we just get rid of this? Yeah. That's only because actor encompasses a couple different things. We don't need to worry about asking other people what type you are. Oh, okay. Input is event. Yep, button right. We should be able to get rid of everything now. This button and all the functions on editor. But let's see if we can. Oh yeah, we have to be in entity. Whoa, no, what is this? Okay. Why can we do that? What is selected right now? Active is tiles. Oh my fucking god. Active is the tile set. We can... Oh my fucking god. I didn't know we could do that. And I think that's been a bug for a while now. Okay, that's kind of actually awesome. Maybe I should put that in. These frogs are just frozen here. Okay, let's stop messing around, right? Set the active to something else. Can we set it to... We should be able to set it to active just by clicking on it, so something's not going right. On selected self spawn point, it gives it itself and its point. I think this is never getting called. Is it? That seems about right. We might have to change it from a sprite to something else, but that's okay. We can change it to like an area 2D with something else. So, okay, I'm gonna go back to a weird tutorial, right? Godot, clicking on sprite. This is like the first tutorial I ever like read, right, with Godot. It's super easy, right? Extends area 2D. Okay. Right. Okay, so yeah. We can't just have a sprite for this. We have to, let's open this up. We'll have to change his type a little bit, right? So we'll add a child node, we'll add area 2D. We'll get rid of this button because this is practically useless now. And we can get rid of the signal later on. Area 2D has a child that is a collision shape. Collision shape, rectangle shape. Basically, we only really care about getting this like approximately right. Maybe maybe we do care about getting it right. 12, 6. See, this sprite isn't even, so it bugs the heck out of me. We'll do 11. Coolio. Okay, so that's a clickable area. And now what we'll do is we'll reparent this area 2D. We'll make scene root. We'll also call it spawn point, unlike the sprite. We'll call this sprite because he's just a sprite now. We'll reattach that script and have it extend area 2D. Now our spawn point is in area 2D, and the sprite goes over the collision shape. Yeah, it just looks better. That's the only reason. Not as though we're actually going to see that in editor, because Godot made it so that when you toggle like show collision shapes, it shows every collision shape. It's the worst thing ever, because like every tile with collision gets shown and it slows the entire fucking thing down to like 1 FPS. It's a problem because I used to use that for debugging all the time, like just being able to, let me show you actually. We go visible collision shapes, you'll see the fucking hell it reeks. Actually, it's a little bit more stable now, look at that. But take a look, here's this area, this giant area box for this enemy to jump. If you enter it, it jumps. Maybe I should use this more actually. It seems like they fixed whatever was making it run super fucking slowly. We'll turn you off for now. Anyway, I created my own method to just view. Let's see. So if we wanted to, we can just insert, and now we can view all the triggers. Just in green there, that door. I've got them also color-coded based on what type they are, so it's all cool. A little bit more useful than Godot's built-in. But let's get back to our main course, right? Can we grab this boy? The question is no if I leave that breakpoint in. The answer. We can select him. We can grab him. Can we grab other things? It doesn't like us grabbing other things because we're not actually on one of these entities. So that's a little bit of an oversight. We can grab him as an entity even though we're not on one of the entity tabs, which are these last 4 ones. Which is a little weird. And it causes not some issues, but just some weird behavior. Like, we should always expect to be able to move other things. Like if we can move him, we're on tile, we can move him. Why can't we move her or the bat? It's just a little funky, isn't it? So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna limit maybe so that does it really matter that much? Let's do some testing, right? If we... Oh... Yeah... No, it would be best if we weren't able to select him while we were doing the level, because that messes up this. This is actually super important to have a tile map active when we're drawing. Even if we're doing auto tile mapping, which by the way was something I fixed yesterday. It's probably my favorite feature of the whole tileset editor. Watch this, right? What? You drew on the layer behind even though you selected far front? Yep. It auto generates what layer this asset should be on based on its position in the tile map. This is why this looks so funky. The first 4 go on the back layer. the next 4 go on the second layer, next 4 go on the front layer, and then the last 4 go on the far front. And that organization just keeps not only the tile set organized, but it just works. You won't have to, theoretically, hunt and peck for like, what file what layer is this actually on? I don't know. You know, hopefully my goal is to clear up all of that confusion, and you could just draw when you want to draw. And if you want to override it, it's just a little click away. Now I can draw it on the far front layer, and it'll just be there. The other thing, well, you guys are here, right? The other thing I want to show off is erase on all, right? This straight up removes all layers. It doesn't matter what layer you're on, and it doesn't matter if I crash by drawing a huge ass rectangle. This is something I gotta fix. It's literally instancing through every layer, it's just doing a bunch of fucking stupid math that we don't need, especially for erasers, because here's what it's doing, right? Let me break down for y'all. We can actually fix that today, actually, now that I think about that. Also, it's not undoing, that's great. That's another bug we gotta fix. Let me reload this level. Alright, so if I can not crash, there's another bug. What it does, right, is it right now, it's so slow because it uses the same code that we do to draw this. It takes the brush, right, and it repeats that brush over and over again. So if we wanted to, like, you know how Cave Story has 2x2 tiling graphics? If we wanted to do that, right, it makes it super easy. So we can just fill a whole thing with like these stacks of logs or something. If we wanted to do that, it makes it easy to do that kind of stuff. Here we go. And what's also great is that, you know, it starts and ends wherever you want, so it's great for like backgrounds. If you had a huge, let me actually load in, right? Make sure not to die here. Basically, if we had this whole big thing here, which, another bug, it's not selecting properly because we offset the tiles, we can just draw him for ages and ages and ages. There we go. And if we wanted to clip it off like part way through, like say we didn't get all the way through this 5 tile pattern, because like that would mean our level would have to be a multiple of 5 then, if we were placing down like and then I could go back and like erase some of it. That's bullshit. Let's just draw what we need to draw and get done with it. Yeah. So, but that's a lot of math. That's so much math, actually. And it's really inefficient. So now that we fixed that boy, maybe let's take a look at that, right? Everything goes through a lot of getters. We're not changing the way we're setting the tiles. We are just calling set individual tile a lot of times. And that's what's slowing it down so much. We're going back and forth, back and forth. So let's see. Get box. Yep. It's not really a memory leak though. I don't know why I called it that. It just is really slow. And I believe it's not even, no, it is get center box is what we do to draw let me show you, okay? We want a centered box when we are just placing down one tile, right? So it should find the theoretical closest center, which isn't always the center. Like if you see it's a little offset here, it doesn't really matter. And I'm too lazy to fix the code of it, right? But if we did all this, it should place it somewhere in the center of all of that mess. Whereas if we were to go and do this, then we should start from the top left corner. So it needs a different method for that. But the problem with our new getBox function, let's see. Cells are the world positions to where we want to place our tiles, right? And it returns array. So getBox, this one just returns an array of all positions. Okay. Well, let's see. Who uses getBox when we are releasing, moving, when we release left mouse button or right mouse button when we've completed the stroke of the box, we'll set a 2D array, getBox. This is okay, so this is where we would want to differentiate, right? And maybe this makes it better on, yeah, let's just do this really quick, right? So if it is a box, right, let's differentiate doing I believe, right? I believe we're still doing this. So if we go all the way up here, right, on handle input, we aren't setting, when it's released, we're not setting left mouse button held until after we do tile input. So even though right mouse button is being released here, it should still be held in our boolean, which makes it easier to check for it. So if LMB held, we will do this because we need all of the functionality of that. But if RMB held, we'll do an elif just because what if they're both held? I don't know if we're accounting for that, and I don't care to find out because we can just do that. Okay, so set 2D array, we want to just, yeah, because fuck that. We already have a function for, also fuck set 2D array as a name. I don't know if I really care to rename it though, but this is a 2D array of tiles, is what it means. We just have set cells, which we can just use set cells and use a brush of a single tile. So let me copy all of, oh, we don't even need to, it will do the previews for us. Do tile input. Where the hell? Okay. If it's right mouse button, also known as eraser, we can just set cells of the getBox. Mouse start position. Brush, we're gonna actually get rid of a lot of this, right? Let's look at the hints for cells. So the cells is array. That's our getBox array. What else does it need? Come on. Tell me your secrets. Array, tile, which will be our brush, layer, which is null right now. Layer, can we leave it null? Yeah, because we'll figure it out in the function. traced is true. Yeah, we just want to leave that as is. We'll add -1 because -1 is our eraser. Right now, if a tile is set to an index of -1, it's an eraser. And if it's set to an index of -2, it's null. What's the difference? Well, nulls don't erase things. They just don't. They just don't. So let's see if our eraser is any faster now. Erase on all is true. It crashes. Cell view on base tile map. 4 cells in cells. Old tile equals tile map dot get cell v. Okay, so this is something we didn't account for. This is setting the old tiles, but since we have multi-arrays, the old tiles might be on who knows what fucking tile. So yeah, we need more. We need to return more to our undo function because this isn't working properly. And this assumes that the layer that we place a new tile on is the same that we place an old tile on. Though, I mean, they should be, otherwise it wouldn't overwrite. Let me think about this real quick. See, the problem is our layer is null, that's fine. But our tile map, this is just setting, it's saying that the old tile was on our tile map, right? On our active tile map, our selected layer, which isn't really the case here. Isn't always the case here. What I think we need to do is we need to set it on layer, which is the thing we find out through this here. If not layer, basically, wait a second. 4 cell and cells, yeah, we'll do this part afterwards. And we'll do layer dot get cell v cell. Now, is layer ever not set? Okay, let's go through this. If not layer, if we don't have a layer, which we don't, layer is, okay, let's close this real quick. If we don't have a layer, then we'll do that. If we do have a layer, then we'll do this. We'll do this else statement over here. Picked custom layer, yeah. Now, okay, go back to if we don't have a layer. If it's an auto layer, our layer is set to get auto layer. And if it's multi-erase, then we ignore layers altogether and we say, oh, go. So we'll ignore this for 1 second, right? And if it's not multi-erase and, let's see, not eraser, we'll set the cell v and we'll get the old tile, just like we did down here. In fact, this is a very way to do it, but can we do it in another way? I don't really know. Anyways, we'll clean it up later. I'll think of something. Just having it down and having it working is important right now. Old tile is not declared. Is it because old tile is a var and we never declared what old tile was. That makes sense. Var old tile. And we'll just leave that blank. There we go. Okay. So let's go to this exception here, which is what we're hitting actually when we're doing multi-arrays. We're going through every layer and we're ignoring like setting a layer here. We're just doing our own thing. Let's see. If it's an eraser, for L in tile collection, get children, for every layer, if the layer is a layer, yeah, we know that. Alright. Set the cell on the layer. Oh, okay, so we can just like literally do it here. But here's the thing, we're gonna return multiple old tiles. This is a problem. Because they're gonna overwrite each other. So what we need to do is change old tile to an array. An array with the layers the old tile was on. This is gonna be ugly. I kind of want to write just a custom function for erasing, but I'm just gonna let it be ugly for now. We can separate it out when it's working. So old tile is an array of tiles. We'll just fucking do this. It's not a dictionary, it's an array. Old tile is going to be an array forever now. So instead of this, we'll do old tile dot append, and we'll append it with this variable, which means we're just adding it to the end of it. Since it's a list of things, we're just adding it to our list. And we can do this the same way here. And can do it here. So this works now. Instead of overwriting what the old tile was, we're appending it to a list of old tiles. Here's the problem. It's not good enough just to do this. I wish it was, but we don't have all the information we need. Because when it's trying to redo this or undo this, it's going to have all these tiles, but it's not going to know which layer each of them needs to be on. It's not going to know where they belonged. And just having the layer that we're currently setting stuff on, which, by the way, we're not even doing when we have an eraser. We don't have any layer. That's why this layer is null. So what we need to do is we need to append, we need to make old tile a dictionary. So a dictionary with the keys being the layer. I'm gonna say yes. So let's go through this one more time, right? For L, if L is let's do this. Var layer. See, we need to separate this whole fucking block out of here. Var layer index equals 0. And if it is a tile map, right, and we're doing all this, at the end of it, we can just throw in one of these. Layer index add equal to 1. So whenever we go through a layer, layer index gets bigger. Okay, so let's do this then. Old tile.append. Instead of that, right, because we don't need to append to an array anymore, we need to set a key in a dictionary. So the way we go about doing that is old tile layer index. This will mean that the dictionary key for layer index, which in this case is 0 to start with, will be set equal to the cell that we want. Okay. And we don't need you anymore. Okay, So this is super fucking complicated and bullshit, but now we have a dictionary of old tiles and where they belong. Layered index is not defined. Layer is, though. What the hell is layer? Layer is literally the layer. I think we can literally just, instead of layer index, I think we can just literally tell it the actual layer. Yeah, that'll be easier. This layer then is an object, which is weird to have as a key for a dictionary. It'd usually be like the other way around. But let's go with it. Let's go with it, see if it works. We can get rid of, I'm going to comment out this code because we theoretically don't need it anymore. Oh, by the way, before I forget, let's get rid of the code for connecting that, that fucker. Where is he? We don't need to send his selection through the inspector anymore. And is he set to receive a signal? No, we're just connecting, we're routing him straight through, so we don't need to do any other work. Okay, cool. Where were we? Okay, set cells. See, I kept this like doable for a reason. I knew we were gonna use this. This is like our base function. Now let's go to undo and redo and see. Let's make sure they know what to do with. We've gotten them the right information. They just have no idea what the fuck to do with it now. So old tile, which is now an array. Let me just make that clear. And so the set cells, wait, why are we copying an old tile? Oh, because we're setting the cells to the old tile. See, that would be good. Wait, but T2 is no longer. T2 was once. Because let's see what we're returning here. Right. If we go to get rid of all of you, maybe we can actually use you to get here faster. Old tile is a dictionary and we're appending it, so 0, 1, 2. T2 is now a dictionary. And that doesn't do because we just need the tile. So what we're going to do is for T in subops, let's do this, right? For layer and T2, this, let's say this is a old tiles equals a dictionary with the keys as layer object, and then the key definition for that is our tile. Okay. Just so we can see what the organization of T2 is. So for key, can we do for key in a dictionary? Well, for and this doesn't mean anything. So for each of our layers, which should only be 1 if we're doing things normally. We should only be resetting 1 layer. We'll set cells, instead of setting it to our current layer, we'll set it to the old layer, which I hope we're setting layer to the object. Let's check that real quick. Layer equals null. If not layer, layer equals tilemap. Okay, so if we do have a layer, just like we do right now, picked a custom layer because we're redoing, then we'll set it to the actual layer. So the layer is the object here. Let's go back to undo. For in our old tiles, or our, is it called old tiles? Old tiles. Let's just do that to, we could even do old tile dick. Just so we know it's a dictionary. Makes things a lot clearer. Nope. Coolio. So undo. Old tile dick. We'll set the cells for each. Let's see. Boo. So can we instance through a dictionary? Let me see if we can actually do this. You can be slightly lazy by doing what I just did. Okay, great. Okay. So the key in this case will be layer. Great, that makes things a lot easier for us. Layer, and the key value will be it will be, oh, that's so shitty. Can't we just call T2 something better? It will be T2 layer. That's so gross. T2 is confusing. Can we write a var for T2? Yeah, let's write a var. Var old tile dick equals T2 for layer in our old tile dick. We'll set sorry about that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I forgot to send out a stream notification. Should I even bother? I'll do it. I'll link to the Twitch page. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming for a super, super long amount of time, but we'll do it anyways, just to be proper about it. Coolio. Okay, so we've got our old tile dictionary. We are getting the key value for the layer. We've got our key over here, which is an object. What the hell is this one? I don't care, and it's our fucking array of values, which includes one thing. It doesn't matter. We're just making this an array because we can, or because we need to, actually. Okay. So let's try erasing on all. Because we didn't have anything active. That might be a totally unrelated bug. Complexity. Okay, what did we get here? Invalid functions sets LV on base tile map cannot convert everyone from array to vector 2. Array to vector 2. Right. Right, because... Wait, really? The cell, it needs to be a vector 2. But, like, cells is an array. So... This is weird. Can't we just do this normally? Like, set cell v cell. Because we're instancing through all of our cells, are we not? So they should only return... Oh no, what is this? It's a two-dimensional array. God. Oh, that's so annoying. Why are we doing a two-dimensional array? I don't like this. Should we not even be using set cells? Should we be using set 2D array? We should be using set 2D array. See, I was like, we don't need to, because like we don't have a brush per se. We just have a brush that is all erasers. I realize why we need to do this now. Okay. Well, we've got the structure for what we're doing over here. So let's do it over there. What needs to happen? First of all, old tile needs to be replaced with the dictionary. Let's see, where do we have old tile equals... Let's see, okay. So here's all of our stuff, right? Old tile is going to be old tile dictionary. Let's uncomment this just in case we need that. We'll comment that. When we're setting cells, right, we are instancing through our eraser, and let's just copy this whole boy. Where is that? Is eraser equals brush? Oh my god, this is so gross. I don't like doing that, but it works. Basically that tells us that it's an eraser. And this is if it's not eraser. for L in tile map, set cell V, and we'll also just set the old tile dictionary. Dot layer, yep. And what else? That seems all good. We can just copy this onto here and onto, what if we have a tile? Do we? Oh, we'll set 2D array will never have a layer set up, so we don't have to worry about what happens if we have a layer set up to begin with, like we have to do for the other function. It will just always not be set up. So let's see, old tile dic now. Old tile dic. And what else do we need to do? That should be it. Let's make sure we're oh, what a clusterfuck. What a clusterfuck. We could so clean all of this code up, but let's get it working first. As the usual. As the usual, we can worry about looking good later. So, we've got... Which one is it using, right? Oh, right. Because usually... Let me think about this for a second. Should we use set 2D array now, always? For undoing stuff? Since we're returning a dictionary, we're returning an array. See, I don't even know why we got away with doing this in the first place, because set cells, doesn't it? No, we can do an array of cells, but we just can't do a 2D array of cells. Can we create a function that converts this to a get 2D array from vector2 array? Okay. What we need to do is we need to create an inverse function of this. Because we don't care about the order per se. Do we care about the order? No, because we're doing, no, actually we do. We're undoing. We're not doing an eraser. I shouldn't have messed with any of this. Brain power is too low. Fucking hell. Ugh. I'm barking up the wrong tree here. What's the problem? What even is the problem with this? The problem is if we're erasing on all layers, we can't erase on all layers and get it back. So to be able to erase on all layers and get it back, we need to have all the tiles we overwrote. We have that. We need to have all of the layers the tiles were on. We have that. We need to have the cells the tiles were on. But we only need the cells the tiles were on. Let me think about this. To undo, overwriting every layer, every tile, every cell, we need a list of every cell that got overwritten, the layer the cell was on, and the tile the cell contained. I think we're going about it backwards. Let's see. When we're doing set cells, we're setting a collection of cells. We don't want that. We want to set one cell. We want to set one cell on one layer with one tile. Can we create a new function? I can set cell. Our cell will be a vector 2. Our tile will be int our layer will be null by default, I guess, and our traced will be true in case we wanted to use it as a normal function, so we can undo it. And if we use it from undo, then we'll set trace to false like we usually do. Okay, so let's just copy this code and see what we can do with it. If the tile is null, then don't do fucking anything. For cell and cells, we can get rid of that. Okay. Old tile dictionary. If not layer, and this is set one cell, one layer, one tile. In fact, let's get rid of a lot of stuff here because we only want to call this via undo. Only via undo redo. Because fuck that, right? We can get rid of a lot of this traced BS by getting rid of undoing and redoing. Unless undoing and redoing uses traced, that would be really confusing. Let's see. No, undoing does and redoing do not edit the timeline at all. What do we got here? So now that we don't have to worry about undoing and redoing on this function, we can do a lot of stuff that we wouldn't do otherwise, like getting rid of this whole boy. We don't care about you. What else can we get rid of? The layer will always have the layer because, yeah, so we always want to pass the layer. So we can ignore the cases where we don't have a layer. Can we? Yes. Yes, because the multi-race, this doesn't matter anymore. We'll always have a layer, so we can get rid of a lot of this stuff. Yep. We'll always have a custom layer picked. And our layer... Cool. Look how nice this function is in comparison to this fucking monstrosity that was trying to do everything for everyone. This one too, jeez. Okay. So, set cell, nice, it's cute, great. Old tile dictionary. So, when are we calling this, right? We're calling this to set one cell, one tile, one layer. We don't need an old tile dictionary at all. we can get rid of him too, because fuck that, right? We're not even using him in undo and redo because we're not returning anything. Let's go back to our undo and redo, right? We'll use this new function from now on because frankly, it will be faster. It'll be cleaner. It'll just look nicer. Set cell. We don't need to set an array of cells anymore. We just need one cell, which is what we have with T0. In fact, Let's create a bunch of vars here so we can know what the fuck we're talking about. Var cell equals t0. That way we don't have to worry about any of this like extra comment shit. Like fuck that. We don't need to set traced anymore because we're not using the same function. We old tile dictionary layer and layer. For layer and old tile dictionary. Okay, great. So let's get this straight what we're doing. For t in subops, right? Each sub operation is a little bit of a movement on the operation, right? So if we were to draw a bunch of tiles like that would, each of those would be a sub operation. The reason that's important is because if our brush was a size bigger than 1, that starts making things very complicated, so it's best to break that down. Yeah, so we'll set a single cell in a single layer. Now here's the thing, what if we don't have old tile dick? We need to have him being returned in all of our tile setting functions. So let's go through quickly and do that. So set 2D array, we've got him. Set line, yeah, we need to have him. So layer.cellSelby, we need our good old friend. Are we any other place are we setting? We're doing it here too. And if multi-race, if auto layer, are we doing? No, because we don't have a past layer. So that's the only two cases when we're setting cells. And we'll copy him from over here. Old tile will be here. We're doing that right now. You don't need to. Okay, so old tile dictionary layer, which we've got set here. Right here, we don't actually have it set. So old tile dictionary. Yeah, what we should be doing is we should be doing L and L that gets. Okay, great. Let's make sure we do that in the other one too. L, since that's the thing we're instancing through. Why are we getting more viewers for doing code? This is the boring stuff. You go away. What are you doing here? So we set old tile dick here, and we're also setting him here since that's the two cases we're doing it in. This is weird. Is this like what we really should be doing? If we've got multi-erase and the brush is an eraser, there should be an ounce here. I don't know how I missed that. Ounce, not eraser. Looks like I missed that the last time I went through here. Okay, so this should be working properly now. We'll append, instead of appending old tile, we'll append old tile dick. And I don't think, here's what I'm thinking, right? There's some other functions where we are returning the layer as well, like here. I don't think we need to do that per se. Because the layer was all about telling us where our previous tile was set, but we've got that all in old tile dick now. I don't think we're even reading it. If I go to undo here, no, we're not even reading T3 ever. So let's get rid of that when we figure out that this works. Okay. Let's do some testing. We've got our great big map here. We've got draw and auto on, which isn't relevant. But we've got erase on all here, which is the big one. When I draw a box like this, it should get rid of all of the tiles. So let's release this and wait for it to either break. There we go. So, are we still calling set? We didn't even do our new function. Let's see. Set cell. No? No, we didn't even undo yet. That's the problem. We called set cells because we released the drawbox. But what? Here, we've got multi-erase is true, and we're using the eraser. For every layer, if it is a layer, set the cell to the tile, which in this case, the tile is just a singular tile. Instead of an array of tiles, it's -1. And -1 is the eraser tile. It's just no tile. In Godot's, the first tile is 0, and then the second tile is 1, and if we want no tiles on a certain cell, the cell, by the way, is the grid, right, of positions that tiles can be on. So anyways, we are setting the cell to the tile, and what are we doing here? We're setting old tile dictionary of the layer to l.getSelvi. Can't we just set this to... Well, that's weird. Our cell is... Oh, that's bad. We're using the wrong function. I'm thinking we're using the wrong function here, because if we want to draw a box, right, didn't we just change that? Oh my god. Okay, so getBox, where is getBox being used? It's getting used up here. Yeah, we changed this and it was a piss poor idea. Anyways, we always, it was here. If it's an eraser, set cells, because I was thinking we could be smart with it. I thought we only need like one. No, we need an array of positions. We need a 2D array of positions, which, yeah. Instead of setting like if conditions, we just need to make our main fucking function faster. And I think I have some ideas. Let's try this now. Whoa. What did that do? See, it like exponentially slows down, and that's the problem with this function. I let go of the mouse a while ago, but it's still chugging through it. It's like every position, it has to like return a 2D array. It's kind of jank and BS. Never have I had to worry about slow code before. If it's ever been slow, it's because like I put a timer on it and like forgot about putting a timer on it. This is some case where I actually need to write smarter code, which is gonna be tough. I like to keep things clean, but you know, sometimes clean isn't necessarily smart. Sometimes intuitive or like naive code, I guess you could call it, isn't the fast way of doing things. Anyways, I'm gonna close out of this because that's just hanging now. That's not good. Let's do a smaller erase and see if we can get the erase function to work. Come on. Erase all these tiles. Okay, you didn't do shit. It looks just an optical illusion, I guess. And like, is it changing the tiles? No, it's not. And we can set it to Can't set it to null because it won't do anything, but we can set it to something else and it's just not doing anything. Why is it not doing anything? Our brush in this case should be an eraser, and get brush as an eraser returns a 2D array that's the size of our normal brush, but it makes it filled with -1s. So, oh, if LMB held, what fucking hell? Why would I? Yeah. Okay, that was our typos. This whole, yeah, there we go. So this works, but if I get too ambitious with it, it just fucking chugs dick. Alright, it's not great. Let's take a look at that code and see what we can do to improve it. It eventually does something. Okay, so this will be set 2D array. And first of all, let's make we've got a lot of functions now. So let's make them very fucking clear what they do. It sets one cell, one layer, one tile. This one sets a array of tiles, a one-dimensional array of tiles. And this one I don't think is even used, actually. Is set cells even used? Can we just comment it out and not have to worry about it? Sets a 1D array of cells with a single tile. Yeah, we're only using it for redo. Let's just make redo use the smarter. Oh, wait, right. We need to test to see if undo actually works first. Yeah, I know you're angry. Just, I don't know, pass for now. Yeah, you'll be okay. You'll get over it. We'll fix you. We need to make sure undo works with our multi-arrays, which is the main thing. And it don't. Okay, so let's fix undo. Undo should print that it's undoing. So I'm gonna have this up on this side of the screen so we can test that one more time. Oh, am I not here? I disappeared completely. Where am I? Oh my god, no, I broke. Where is she? I broke it. Nope. Nope, you're doing the wrong you're doing the wrong one. Oh my god, it's all breaking. It all comes tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down. Can we edit you? Use the other window. See, I don't even know why I did that. Okay. We're gonna close out of VC Face for a second. There we go. Okay, we're back. 1 second. Alright, we're good. Okay, so our erase works there she goes. She shouldn't be going, but she is. And when we try to undo, you see that's what got printed. That's a lot of stuff that's happening. Undoing operation, set tiles on. Look how big that. See, no wonder. No fucking wonder this is slowing down, right? It set tiles on all. Wait, set tiles on all layers. That's not the right operation name. Are we even using set tiles on all layers anymore? I'm pretty sure that's like depreciated. I saw it in code once. Once I saw that this mystical function tiles on all layers if multi-erase just fucking set tiles. Get rid of that bullshit. Yes. Since we don't really need to know that we're setting them on all layers, it was something that would have been helpful beforehand. Anyways, let's go back to this, right? And here's what we've got to work with. A bunch of garbage is what we have to work with. Set tiles on all layers, right? Here, it's returning each sub operation. Oh my god. That's a little easier to look at. Each sub operation in this case is... that's why it's so slow. Each sub operation is one brush. So like, okay, if we draw rectangles or if we draw boxes like this, we're getting a lot of useless information that we don't need, right? Get box returns a 2D array of positions. We need to get a different kind of box. We need to get a kind of box that we can use a lot easier. And we need to get a one-dimensional array. Okay. So let's replace the name getBox here with getBox 2D. Yes. And we'll create another function that returns a one-dimensional array of boxes. Or a box, one-dimensional array of cells. Let's see. Did I just say one-dimensional? I guess it is one-dimensional. It's all the same, except instead of doing this bullshit for y in range row.append, we'll just append directly to cells. Cells dot append instead of that. And we could print cells to try it out, but we'll not do that right now. Coolio. So for y in range, for x in range, add that to our cells. Great. What were we doing? We were trying to make undo work. That's totally diversionary. Undo doesn't work on this garbage. It tries to undo the operation, but it doesn't actually undo anything. Partially because the operation we're giving it is bullshit to begin with. We're telling it to do a lot of things it doesn't need to be doing. So can we simplify? Yes, we can. Let's go back. Okay, first of all, we need you, set cells. Okay, our hero in our trying time. We need to basically undo the fucking thing we undid before. Okay, if it's a box, if lnb held, we will do this normally. We'll do it the complicated way. But if it's not, lf. I feel so weird writing the code that we just literally deleted and we wrote at the start of the stream. It's like we're going back and forth. But we know what we're doing, right? Set 2D array. Let's call this function something better. Set, whoever's using set cells, no. Set cells, we'll replace this with set cells 1D. Okay. And then we'll change set 2D array to set 2D array, because that's confusing. We'll set cells 2D. There we go. So we've got set cell, set to cells 1D, set cells 2D now. Great. So let's go back to do-tile input and finish this up, right? Set cells 1D, get a 1D box, and it makes things simpler when we're erasing. Let's see what it returns now, because now our eraser is working totally differently from how it did before, and it breaks. Array and int. Tile should never be an array. What are you doing? Oh, right. Do tile input. And this shouldn't be a brush, this should just be -1, right? We'll set a single tile on a 1D array of stuff. Okay. We could have gotten brush as eraser and done it differently, but whatever. Look, it's so much faster now, right? We can, okay, well, not that much faster. It's marginally faster, and it's gonna freeze. See, it's still slow. It's still slow. Why is it so slow? It's going through all of... It's doing a lot of operations. Can we print to see all the operations it's doing? First of all, let's get box 1D. Let's turn this on so we can see what it's actually returning to begin with, right? Because what it's returning gets exponentially bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger the more we give it. So like it returned, let's see. So you can see it. So you can see it. It returned like a one-dimensional array of a couple of positions, right? Let's do a bigger chunk of destruction, right? It's gonna return something really fucking big, is my prediction at least. Like that. See, it's big, but it's not that big. We can handle all these numbers. So it's the other part of the function that is chugging when we do something like that. Can return all those positions. Can we undo that? See, when we undo it, it's a load of fucking garbage is what it is, because we've got erase on all on, which means that it has to go through every fucking cell we changed. It has to create a dictionary for every cell we changed. including the layer and the tile that we changed. But what's in the middle, right? What's in the middle between these two functions, right? Because this is fine. That's the most efficient way we can get a box of one-dimensional, a one-dimensional array of cells. But is this the fastest way we can set a one-dimensional array of cells? Let's see. Tiles null return. For cell in cells. Each cell is made into a sub-operation here. Okay. Yes, because let's look at our organization here, right? Fast operations, up. I think each brush stroke gets set to a new operation. It gets set to a new full operation, right? And the sub-operations are each tile within that full operation, right? So let's go back to this one. If we don't have a layer set, so this is interesting. We're not using this for undo anymore. We're using the much simpler cousin set cell. Do we need a layer? We don't need a layer for set cells 2D. We're never going to be passing a layer to it. It's always going to be null, just like it is here. So let's get rid of this boy. We don't need you. The if not layer will always return true, and the else will never return true. So we'll get rid of you. We will knock you down here. Layer is going to be set to the tile map. If it's an auto layer, then the layer will be set to the auto layer. If it's multi-erase, then we'll ignore layers altogether. And if it's not auto erase, we will set cell v. We'll use basically this and that. Yep. So where can we make this faster? We're setting a 1D array of cells with a single tile, but we're doing a lot of this shenanigans. And are we waiting on anything? I'm pretty sure. No, that's just for the input. We're waiting on input. We add the cell, the tile. So this layer isn't useful anymore. We'll get rid of you, and we'll get rid of yim in all of these, right? Because we're never actually, we don't need that. Returning all isn't useful at all. It really is not. Layer is not declared. I'll just do var layer then. I don't know. We didn't define that. So now we're returning less stuff when we need to return stuff. We're returning the cell we set it to. We're returning tile we set, and returning a dictionary. See, the thing is, we're doing this a lot of times, and that's the whole crux of the problem, right? For cell in cells, we're going to be returning this operation every time we set a cell. We're going to be doing, that's why it was printing so much fucking garbage. Let me see, let me pull this up. Yeah, so it returns the stuff we need a lot of times, right? It does. Because if we think about this, right? If we're erasing on every tile, on every layer, in one cell, in every layer, we need every tile on each respective layer that we overwrote. If we look at Old Tile Dictionary, what are we actually adding to it? We're doing the layer and the cell, because theoretically each layer should only have one cell that we need to put back in position when we undo. So that's all good. That's clean, efficient. But can we do it better? Can we get rid of the 4 cells in cells? Because ideally I want to only do this once. I would like to, that. And here's the thing, right? We're returning the cell in Old Tile Dictionary. We're returning the cell. Are we? No, we're returning the tile. That's what this is. But if we return the cell with it, then we wouldn't have to get the cell from each of these operations. So it would be cleaner. We wouldn't be doing as much shit. Can we do that? We could do this, right? Old Tile Dictionary, the key for that, right? What I'm thinking is we make the key. Let's just diagram the structure of Old Tile Dictionary, right? We've got our layer, and which is the key, and then our value for the layer is going to be something like this. It's going to be the cell, and then it's going to be the tile. This will be all the information we need. And right now we're only returning tile. Let's see. Old Tile Dictionary .l should be an array, and it should be a cell, comma, get the tile in that cell. Great. Let me just okay. So if we do it this way, theoretically, we should only need to do this once. Let me think about this. We need to define Old Tile Dictionary outside of this. Okay? Outside of this loop. He'll be here just for the end of time, for the end of this function. And yeah. So, okay, let me think about how this will go though. This will go, the layer will be overwritten, won't it? Because when we go on to another cell, that layer is going to be overwritten with that cell's information. So what we need to do, instead of setting that equal, we need to append it. Okay, here's our new structure. Our new structure is going to be a nested thing like this. And that will be all the information we need. So, to the layer, can we append to a dictionary key? Is that how that works? can we even do this? See, I don't like nested dictionaries, but it might, whatever. If anything, this would be this would be a dictionary instead of an array. See, this is why I don't like working with dictionaries. It's so fucking complicated. Okay. Can we append to a dictionary key? I don't want to add a dictionary key. Okay, well, okay. Here's what I'm thinking, right? If the key is already here's what we'll do. We'll set it up here, right? For layer in tile collection.getChildren. If layer is tile map, we will old tile dictionary layer is equal to an empty dictionary. And this will be great. Okay. It will be an empty array, excuse me. So we'll do that once. As for this, well, let's just focus on this because this is a little simpler. It's got the names we're used to. Old tile dictionary layer, which already exists, it's an empty array at this point. We will dot append. We will append array to this array. We won't append array, but we'll append an array in the array, which will contain that information. We can do that here too. Let's see what this looks like too. I want to print this when we're done with it. So see, do we even need cell tile for redoing? What does redoing actually use, by the way? It uses set tiles. Oh, we're not doing anything, but we use T0, which is the array of positions. Oh geez, why don't we just, oh god, no wonder it's slow. We're creating a fake array. We're calling this for every sub-op. What we should really be doing is using the function like it's meant to be used, right? We're creating this fake array to like bump it up so that like this one cell it's calling this so many fucking times, and it really doesn't need to be doing it. It only needs to be calling it once with the whole amount of cells. So we'll return the whole amount of cells, and we'll also return the tile. Yeah, that'll be great. Okay, so instead of appending cell, we'll append cells, and the tile, which is always constant in this version of the function. And look at that, we can bump it down. Let's see, if S0 is cell, what is S? Active iteration. I don't really care because we won't be doing that. Let's just get rid of that for now. and just say, if it's traced, then append a single fucking thing, so we won't have that whole list, right? Can we print active operation? Or let's print this when we're done with it. Print active operation. Great. What else do we need to do here? We're appending this, but we're not doing anything to get it into undo. Let's just see what it looks like first. Yeah, I know the viewport size changed. You don't need to print. Okay, so if we erase a large swath of stuff, it returns a lot of bullshit. What is it returning though? What is all of this junk? And why does it? Okay, this is what it's doing. It's got the layer, and then it's got the key is the layer, right? Which is far back tile map. It's all this bullshit shit here. Then it's got a list of it's got an array that's filled with these two values, the position of where it needs to go and the tile, which in this case is always -1 because, yeah, we're setting everything to -1. Let's see if this is faster to run with, right? If it is, then we're done optimizing. I don't care about... It's not. It's a little bit faster, I'd like to believe, optimistically, but it ain't. We're just mushing all the data together. We're not actually doing anything new or interesting. Here's a thought, right? Why are those values -1? Those values shouldn't be -1, should they? Because we're returning... Oh, are we returning a bunch of bullshit we don't need? Let's look for a value that isn't -1. Well, I finally got done with that. So, far back... -1, -1. See, that's not what I was intending. I was intending it to... I think it's either printing wrong or it's... Well, not printing wrong. It's returning the wrong information. Because it should be returning the cell we're replacing, right? That's the whole point of old tile deck. We've got the cell right that it's replacing, but we get the cell too late. Oh, of course. We're setting the tile, and then we're getting... Okay, this makes so much sense. That was the wrong order. We need to get the old tile and then set the tile. Okay, so let's see. This will return a lot better. Erase all. Get rid of all of you. What do you have for us, Godot? You have kind of the same amount of bullshit. Let's keep you up just to see if that's a new print. Again, okay. This is quite possibly why it's returning a lot of bullshit, because look at this, right? We are, in some cases, like this one here, 3112, 18. So the tile, or the cell at position 3112 is being got replaced, and it used to be a tile with ID 18, right? But look at this one, 2712, -1. We replaced nothing with nothing. That's why this is so inefficient, right? That's useless information. We don't need that. So here's what I'm thinking. We add like a little if the cell that we're going to be replacing is already the thing that we're replacing, we'll return. We won't even bother. So let's see. For cell and cells, if get cell v cell, if the cell that's in that tile is equal to our tile, if old tile equals new tile, then what we will do is we will just return. Now, if return thinks how I think it works, then this will just break out of this for in statement. Get cell v isn't declared in, okay. We need to, okay. Layer, we need to get the layer first, right? So we'll do it down here. We'll do it here and here. And later on we can merge it into one thing once we get it working. We'll think about how that works. Basically, for in tile map, if it's not the tile, if it's not setting anything, in L that gets cell v, and here we'll do layer dot get cell v, then we'll return. Let's see our code be optimized in real time. We've got a lot of shitty code, and for the first time I've got to clean it up. Okay, that's not good. I believe, here's what I'm believing. Return in this case is returning the entire function. So what's the code I'm looking for? Is it break? Can we use break in this kind of, I want to break out of this. Let's see. Or would it just be pass? It would just be pass, wouldn't it? Pass ounce will do this function. We'll pass ounce will do that function. I wish there was a keyword, but I can see it doesn't really know where to go back to, so it would have to be something weird. Okay, so what we got here. Erasing. Oh my god, do you see it? Okay, first of all, take a look at what we're printing now compared to what we were printing before. Take a look at this. We are only, not only are we only printing, but we're only setting stuff on relevant tiles. We're only setting stuff on tiles where it isn't, it used to be tile 7, used to be tile 7, used to be 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7, 7, 7, 10, 7, 26, 12, 12, 12, 12. Okay, it used to be stuff there. And now, a little bit faster. That's still a lot of information. Why is it still a lot of information? What is all this information too, by the way? What the fuck? What is this? What? Why are these just single pairs? Huh? Huh? What is this? What? Are we... Yeah, actually, what the fuck is all of this bullshit up here? Are we appending something else to the operation? Let's take a look at what we're actually doing to the active operation. Active operation is an array containing the cells. Okay. And then the tiles. And first of all, can we just append the old tile dictionary? Because we only need the rest for redoing. So if we're just undoing, we only need the stuff we're overwriting. That'll make it better. Well, that'll make it so we can see what we're actually writing here. And maybe it'll make it faster. Hopefully. It's not faster, but does it print less? And this is the question. It does. See, that's a manageable amount of things to print. Comparatively, we can go through all of this information just fine. Just real quick, I want to check to make sure nothing's on here twice. It really shouldn't be. Okay. No, yeah, it shouldn't be. Here's what I'm thinking, right? We have a list of all of the old cells that got set to something else. If we undo that, we have all the information we need to go. But what happens when we redo that? When we redo that, we need to do the operation again. So we need a list of all of the tiles we were selecting. And we need a list of all the things we were setting it to, which in this case was just -1. So. This is exactly what we had. We just commented out here. It was cells and the single tile. So theoretically, right, with all of this information, we should have everything we need to go. Let's try. I don't really care about that. Printing is going to slow it down, but not that much. In fact, I should kind of leave it on because it's not printing a garbage amount of information, just a slightly garbage amount of information. What do we got here? We've got... See, here's the thing where we're going wrong, right? In terms of undoing, is that we're going for T and subops, which we're not using subops anymore. Subops equals last one, which in this case is the last operation. Last is all the... Okay. Last 0 is the last operation. Last 1, or last 0 is the name of the operation. Last 1 is the array containing all of our information. We're doing subops in opposite order. I don't know why. But here's the thing. We should only be doing one subop, which doesn't change anything with this code. It just makes it run cleaner. Our cell is T0, okay. Our old tile dictionary is T2, and our tile should be T1, but we're not using it here because we're setting them to the old tiles. Our old tile dictionary is only... See, the problem is we've got the same we don't have the same information, but we basically have the same information twice. Are we even using cells? We're not. We're getting... Here we go. Our old tile dictionary little description there is out of date. Let's replace it with the new one. Which is that old tile dictionary is equals an array with keys that look like that. Or it's a dictionary with keys that look like this. With a layer and a bunch of cells in that layer. So to get this information, right, we've got the layer. Wait a second, set cell. Our layer is, yep. But our old tile dictionary layer, that we're not doing anymore. We are doing this. Var tile equals for layer for cell and layer, which will be each of these will be the cell. I believe this is correct. Okay. For cell and layer, tile, var cell equals cell and 0. Just to make that clear, tile equals cell 1, and we will tile cell position layer. Cell already exists. Cell already exists where? Here. I don't think we need that anymore. No. Because that's the new cells. We don't need that anymore. We need the old cells that we've already got here. For indented. Yeah, okay. Cool. Now it should work. With our undos. A lot of this is just getting this to work. I thought I had this fixed yesterday, honestly. Okay. Unable to iterate on object of type object. For cell in layer. Can we... Oh, in layer, we need the key. Layer value. This would be... It would be like this. Old... There. We're iterating through the value now, not the key, because why would we iterate through the key? Nice. Nice. It's still slow though. This whole work was to make it less slow. I don't know. It's cleaner now, at least. It's not doing a bunch of bullshit it didn't need to be doing. But it's not faster. I'm not really sure why. Gotta talk to some hardware experts. Maybe Aki knows. Let me just butcher his name. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, we fixed something, right? We fixed something, so that's something to be proud of. We can undo it. Can we redo it, though? Let's get that working again. Okay. For T in subops, set cells 1D. Now we'll just do this. We'll set a cell. What I'm thinking is we just have to go var cell equals, we can just do cell position as equals T0. And no, you don't need to do that. The tile will be T1. Cool. Cell position tile layer. What layer is it? When we're doing that, we're setting a lot of stuff to -1. We're setting everything we got rid of to -1. This makes finding what layer we're actually on really hard. Now, if I believe correct, it already has a way of getting layer. Set cell has, it does not. We have to give it a layer. How can we pass this information on? Well, what are we doing in the first place, right? We are erasing a bunch of stuff. We should be using set cells 2D. That way we don't have to, well, actually 1D. Maybe 2D. Maybe, depending on if it's an eraser or not. Okay. If it's an eraser, then... Okay, so here's what I think our problem is. These are mixed together. We'll only be focusing on set tiles 1D right now. And we'll add a copy for that for 2D. So when we do, let's see, do tile input, operation name equals set tiles. I don't want that. Operation name should be defined at the top, and then we can set operation name as something else when we need it. Okay. Here we'll change it to operation name equals set as 1D. Layer is not defined. Set tiles 1D, we don't need to give it a layer. Yes, because this is what we're doing in the first place, so we'll just redo the operation as we did. We don't need to be more specific. We're just doing the same thing we did before. So if I erase, if I redo, redo, it just does the same operation again. Great. We can go backwards and forwards to this now, even though we're erasing on all layers. What happens if we turn this off? It breaks, because What are we doing? We're setting cells 1D. We're not on all layers. Our multi-erase is off, so not eraser, but we are an eraser. We're just not multi-erase. We're just a single eraser. Oof, we're in deep now. We've done a couple of modifications that like we can't really go back from. And if I ignore it now, then it's just gonna get buried to time. So let's fix it. Let's fix all the things we've done. Right. If layer.getCellV cell is tile, then pass. But here's the problem. We don't have getCellV in base nil. So our layer, if I'm hearing correct, our layer is null, but auto layer is on, so we should be set to our auto layer, shouldn't we? I'm pretty sure we should be set to our auto layer. Our auto layer is going to be different. And in fact, if we're doing an eraser, I don't think we want to be on our auto layer. If auto layer and not erasing, right? If we're erasing, then I don't want the tile we've got selected to matter at all. So if and not tile equals 1. That makes this one not multi-eraser. But yeah, okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. That should only delete stuff. Let's only delete stuff on the far front to see if that works. Excellent. We can redo that and it works perfectly. As intended. Okay. So redoing works now. The draw box is still very slow. We just need to fix that thing we changed. Because, let's see, I didn't get rid of all the far front. What are you doing? Okay. Well, that's weird. Basically, right. Set cells 1D, this is all good. This is all the way we want it. I'll leave that there in case we need it, which I don't think we will. In case. There have been things to happen for cell and layer. This is a bunch of complicated bullshit that we don't need to be doing, especially this here, but I can't think of a way to merge them right now. Besides making this a different function. And then I'd have to pass a bunch of vars. It just gets ugly. Anyways. But right, what happens when we're setting something in 2D? And that's what we'd usually be doing. So if we're doing tile input, right? That's not the tile input. Do tile input. Operation set tiles to D. And we'll go to undo here and we'll make sure it works for set tiles 2D. It should actually be set cells 2D. because we're setting tiles, but we're setting the value of the cells. It's weird. I'll change it later. Just to be consistent, let's go with this for now. So here's some info, right? We need to be doing something differently, don't we? Set styles 2D. I think we want to be using set. Oh, are we not? Okay, something happened with Restream. That's very, very annoying. Yeah. Old tile dictionary, cell. What are we doing? We're doing a lot of complicated stuff that I don't understand what we're doing. What did we do before? How about we'll save ourselves? We'll save ourselves a massive headache and just see what the hell we were doing before I fucked it all up. Give me editor, please. It should be undo. Undo. Set tiles. 4T and subops. This is gross. I don't know why it's being like that. Okay. So set cells. Cells is, this is our 1D function. And we're setting a fake array. This is really just one cell. And we are setting it to T2, which is, let's see, set cells 1D, that's the tile. T2 is our tile, but set cells 1D only, it only accepts one tile right now. Should we make it so it sets an array of tiles? That's the purpose of this one, though. This is bad. See, why did it, this whole thing is so janky. It's like, did this work? How did this work? I don't even understand how it worked. It just did. It just did. Position array, old tile, traced. So this is for each sub-op though. And right now, we don't have that. Right now, at least with this guy, I don't know about this guy. This guy probably has some bullshit still up his sleeve, yeah. We are doing things differently. Tile is just one tile. Let's write it the old way, and let's see if it works. Set cell, we'll replace this with set cells 1D, and cell position will be this is an array, right? Though if it is an array, how is this working? we don't have layers in any old tile dictionary. And we don't have any of this stuff. So let's see. Cell position would be T0, right? If I got this correct. T0 and then T2. Why T2? T2 is the old tile. But the old tile isn't a single tile anymore. This is some big brain shit. I can't do this. What are we doing? Old tile. See, and this is the problem. I should have left this as is and just like not messed with any of this shit. When it works, it works. Don't worry about how it works or how you can get it to work better. Just leave it the fuck alone. If I don't understand my own code, we're in some real like fucking dangerous territory. Set cells. What are we doing? For every sub operation, what are the sub operations anymore? I literally don't know. I think sub operations are a single cell. They are, because each sub operation is going to be one. It's going to be one cell. So that's why this is a fake array, because we need to set one cell. Can't we just use set cell now? This would be so much easier if we could use set cell. Let's try and use set cell, because this is going to be one cell. Even though we're getting it a different way, this should still be one cell. And because it's one cell, of course, it's only going to have one tile, right? Let's see how we're doing set cells 2D, right? Oh, and before I forget, let's do tile input. Let's change this to set cell. If we can get everything working off of set tiles, then we don't have to worry about tracing shit anymore. That would be a huge, well, a kind of a huge deal. Yeah. So set cells 1D, if it's traced, if we're doing this, this is for every, this is for every cell. For every cell, this is bullshit. If tile equals 2, if tile equals 2, we'll pass or something. And then if it's not, then we'll just do the stuff normally. Okay. We can do this in a single line. Okay. Old tile dictionary layer. Are we using the old tile dictionary in set cells 2D? That's weird. That's weird. Why are we doing that? I don't know if that's helpful or not. Layers the tile map. If is var is eraser equals brush. Ugh, that's gross. But it sets up this stuff for us, right? If multi-erase and is eraser. Oh yeah, by the way, we're doing this in the wrong order. I'm glad I took a look at this. We need to get the old tile before we set the new one. And not is eraser. But what if it is an eraser and it's not multi-erase? I guess we wouldn't be doing this. See, here's the thing. Should this ever be an eraser? Set cells 2D? I think theoretically in the future we're going to have it be so it's never an eraser, but let's not worry about that right now. I think we could always use set cells 1D or some other function like set line if we need to get like a multi-box line. Okay, so what is our problem? What is our problem? Our problem is that the information it returns isn't necessarily useful to us. We need to check to see if the information it returns is useful to us. So the information it returns, right, is... Now what is this? If multi-erase and brush equals get brush as eraser, if multi-erase and is eraser, we already have a fucking thing for it. Active operation dot append. So we're just doing the same thing. Honestly, I think this was like when we were doing something else. I'm gonna get rid of this. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why we would do that. And this is complicated. I see why we're doing it. I'm gonna get rid of it for now, just to see if it's simpler without it. What do we got? We are appending to the active operation a single cell. That's going to be this cell. We are appending a single tile. That's going to be this tile. And we are appending the old tile dictionary. So when we do this and we want to undo it, we have the old tile dictionary to work with. The old tile dictionary will have, hopefully, it will have all the information that we need. Yeah, because it's just the same thing, but it's just a different way of doing the same information. It's doing the information, but it's doing it in a way that keeps it in the right order. That's why. That's why we have this function. Okay, so all this information should be the same information that this one's returning, so we should be able to just set tile. It's a little, let's see, we're undoing, right? Yeah, can't we just use this same function? Yeah, no, totally. I don't know why I thought we didn't. Getting all confused. Maybe it's best to like wash my hands clean of this as soon as possible so I don't make more of a mess. Yes, this would be best. Fucking redoing shit, undoing shit. I need to be a little more focused. But hey, at least I got the stream to maybe keep me on track instead of not knowing what the hell I'm doing all the time. Here, if I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I'm actually in trouble. Operation name, great. And fuck, we simplify this, bitch. Great, great, great. 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 Great, 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 great. So this will always do on the far back layer. And if we erase, it will always do on the active layer. So we've got draw and auto on. It should always draw on the back layer. But since we've got far front selected, we're always going to be erasing stuff on the far front layer, like that over there. That's great. That's what we want. Even though it's a little confusing, I wouldn't want draw and auto to work with erasing. That's why I changed the name to auto layer, from auto layer to draw on auto, because we can only draw that way. But if we have erase on all, that works out for us. Can we undo that? We can. Okay, one last test, right? Can we erase? See, it still hangs on this operation. I don't know how to make this simpler. You know what I could do to make it simpler? Since it's just getting a box, right? I could try and just do that information via the box. But that would only work for redo. It wouldn't work for undo. And I bet you it won't save us a lot of time and just makes things more complicated than they need to be. But we can redo with that now. We're fixed, alright? We are fixed, and anything more is going to make it break. So let's wash our hands of this, shall we? What a fucking journey that was. See, and I'm all about like, oh, I'm gonna do bug fixing now. I'm gonna do like the light and easy shit now. No, let's dive head first into like optimizing our code and then come out of it on the other end like slightly better, but also very, 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 very confused. What a beast. What a beast of a script this has become. I remember when it was just like, oh yeah, I wanted to draw tiles. I just wanted to draw tiles, and then like fucking Control Z, Control V. Oh god, we don't even have copy paste. Imagine trying to get copy paste to work. It's gonna be a hell of a thing to do. Any ideas? We could get labels on here. Since we don't have labels on the tabs anymore, it would be nice to add a label up there. I think I'm just gonna copy this label. It's so nice. So nice that we have copy paste. It should be a basic thing, should it? Should int. Let's see. Main. Make you a child. Make you a child of you. But it makes you a tab. Okay. I'll make you a child of main. I'll make you in front. And what else will we do with you? We'll add a VBox. This is gonna get weird. It's gonna get very weird. I'm gonna add. Oh, you can't see any of this. Here, sorry about that. I know this isn't much better. I realize. You know what I should just do is I should like zoop. But maybe next stream I'll have this layout thing figured out to where like you can have this whole, let's see, this whole half of the screen, and you can also see like this That would be pretty good if I could get that for you. Yeah, we'll figure that out. What else do we need to be doing about now, right? We need to have our VBox. We need to create an empty control node. Put you up here. We'll make the rect min size y to, like, I don't know, fucking 16. 8. See, here's the weird thing, because we're doing this on top. It's gonna look like dog shit. Let's just see how that looks. See, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look great, but is it serviceable? Mayhaps. Is it in the way? It totally is in the way. I hate the VBoxes by default and HBoxes to do fucking mouse flags to that, and I don't want it. I don't want it. Mouse, ignore. Mouse, please ignore. Okay. There we go. See, if I was smart, I would do this, or if I was trying to do something, I would make it like a thing on each of these that it pushes it down a little bit more. But fuck, can we just do that? Then we don't have to worry about this label. Let's see if we can just do that. And then I'm gonna end the stream for then. Since we got all of our morning stuff done with, I'll move on to something else. Yeah. So here's the problem with doing that, right? Is it fucks up our entire hierarchy. We've got a VBox up here. What's it doing? I don't know. We'll do the label at the top there. Yeah. Okay. And this label will say tiles. Yep. That's all we really need. Who else? Who else? Tiles, tab buttons, props. You need one? No. Maybe you do. Add a VBox. Add it here. Add it here. Rename it VBox. Paste. Label. Your label is great. Props. Now you've got the scroll container. I'm gonna change to this VBox scroll buttons. This VBox scroll buttons. I wish there was a better way. Like, you can do get for a path, like that always remains consistent, but it's just such a pain in the ass, right? I'd rather do it this way, then I can visually see what's wrong, right? Instead of saying, what get buttons? What the hell is buttons? You know? And we'll copy that hierarchy for this to VBox. We'll make you a child of the VBox, and we will paste our label node here with the label NPCs. We'll change your script to do VBox / and we'll basically copy this in. Cool. Who's next? Levels. We will add a VBox. Rename you. Put you on top. The label, huh? I guess I already had a label here. Well, we're gonna get rid of you. We're gonna paste you. Rename you. Levels. And your code needs, well, it needs this as a child of the VBox, I think. We don't actually even need to do that because it already shrinks to end. Okay. The inspector enemies needs a VBox. See, there was no point of doing that VBox on levels, but it's fine. Scroll as a child of the VBox. Paste our label as a child of the VBox. Rename you. And enemies. Anything else? Anything else? I think that's everyone. Let's see. Add child to null instance. I forgot to do that. We'll fix you up right away. Coolio. Testing tiles. No, get rid of you, editor. How about you? I'm gonna pay you $50 to fuck off. Tiles. That one doesn't have a label. This is annoying. Is it because we're not adding it in there? Ugh. NPCs. Let's open NPCs and see what we're doing wrong. VBox, label, scroll. Scroll is, well, hold on. The panel should be a child, right? Because I want this label to kind of, so will panel size flags expand? Expand? Will also size flags expand you, but you will be the panel doesn't need to take up any space, really. It just needs to, this is gonna be gross. Add child, margin, it's gonna go something like this. Margin container, size flags, expand, panel, yes, yes. See, you love complicated hierarchies. I love complicated hierarchies. Can we make this rect size, min size 8 or something? And we will make our VBox have the theme override of separation of 0. No, it looks good like that. Anyways, I just want this label to be as big as, is it because we are using like buttons as the, well, let's see if this looks good. Bruh, because the path got changed again. I'm just gonna do this. Fuck that. Rename this margin container to margin. Rename this to this. It's gonna be such a pain in the ass to fix all of this for all of them. Do I just go ahead and do it now? I think that's what I do. Props, levels, enemies, and then I'll add the new hierarchy in afterwards. I know I should just write a definition for that, but I don't feel like doing it. Okay, so what do we got here? We got a stupid fucking margin container with the panel. We're gonna do that here too. We're gonna rename you a VBox. We are going to leave it as is. Label, margin, panel, margin, size flags, expand. Great. Label, rect, min size, 8. Levels, we're not using you. NPCs, we've got you. Props, let's add margin. Rename you. Put you on the hierarchy beneath you. You go here. Margin, size flags, expand, label, rect, min size, y, 8. And enemies. One more thing we need to do is we need to do this for, where are they? The triggers. Triggers need all of this shit. So first of all, let's see if we can can we copy paste this in? Yes, we still have this. Great. You need a label. You need a margin container. And this margin container needs to contain a panel, a scroll, and it needs to size flags, expand, label. We just need the VBox now. So Godot's node hierarchy UI system is kind of excellent, but I just wish it was easier to do this shit. Because the result is great. Look at that result. We can resize this to any size now, and it will keep that spacing. It will keep, it's like an OCD dream, right? Like a good one. But it takes fucking 12 years to set up. Buttons that get children. It takes 12 years to set up. But for all that work, now we have a little label here that tells us what tab we're on. Let's just add it to tile set 2, just to be very complete. Add child. It's going to be another VBox. See, the more things you add to this, the more hell it becomes over time. Which is why I wish there was better ways to reference nodes in your hierarchy. Size flags expand. Oh, are we not already doing that? Right, because these need to go into a margin container. And this margin container needs to have everything in here. Margin needs to be set to size flags expand. And there we go. We've got a tab container in a tab container with our pop-up menus that need to go on the top hierarchy. I don't know why they're all the way down in there. 3 hours of work on Laputa. I finished it off with just some busy work, honestly. Just some busy work. Is levels at the same level? Yeah. Tiles, that looks good. See, it's an ugly UI, but we got some stuff done. What did we get done? We got erasing working a little bit better on all layers. Yep. Cell position on undo, unknown get index 0 in base int. The cell is it because we're not saving it as, oh fuck, whatever. I don't care at this point. I think we undid stuff and we redid stuff. I think I just want lunch at this point. And we also got this boy to move, which, yeah, he's janky as all fuck, but that's our little spawn position. To do, right? To do next time I work on the game. We need enemies that save their original position, right? Because when we save a level now, we save the position of the enemy as they are on save. But say what happens if I, like, I don't know, if bats didn't crash the game, theoretically, right? And I've got, let's put a roller in here, right? They're gonna fucking roll off screen, right? And by the time I'm ready to like save this level, they're gonna start the level here, and it's just annoying. We'll have to replace them. So what we need is we need all entities, all actors to have a home position, and that is what we would save when we saved. When we save the level, we would reset all actors to their home position. In fact, what we would do is we would reset all actors to their home position when we do this, when we enter the menu. So look out for that soon. Thanks for sticking by with me this early morning. Not so much morning anymore, but I'm going to end the stream now. Hope y'all have a great day. Thanks.